Hey everyone, I'm Cookie Brothers with FCF International. We believe no one should do ministry alone. Recently, I was able to read GK Chesterton's On Certain Modern Writers and the Institution of the Family. I'm pretty sure it was an excerpt from one of his books. But I was really impacted by it as it was just so relatable to our modern times. For those who don't know, GK Chesterton was an English writer and a Christian apologist in the late 1900s. And in speaking of family, he says that he thinks it's wrong to think that in the middle of stress and uncertainties of life, that the family is peaceful, pleasant, and at one. He said that the family is not peaceful, and it is not always pleasant, and definitely not at one. Well, I was particularly drawn to a certain section where he's speaking to the advantages of the small community and the comparison of a small community with the family. And they were pretty jarring in their clarity. His idea, the main idea, was that the existence of a big society is for the promotion of narrowness and for the prevention of Christian knowledge. I think that's pretty profound, but I found that his thoughts on modern times were very accurate to our day and time, our modern time, which is exactly what is occurring in our society right now. It's a complete reflection of this writing for me. He sees big society as a machinery for the purpose of guarding celerity and sensitive individual from all experience of the bitter and bracing human compromise. In other words, what is being thrown at us is basically saying, isolation is better. The idea here is that the world is suggesting that family is a bad institution. And because of all the brokenness and undiagnosed or even addressed traumas, etc., he's saying that the family is actually wholesome precisely because of these things, because of so many divergencies and varieties. And that if we want to try and step away from family to experience something more broad of scope, that we're actually stepping into something more narrow. I think that's an amazing thought process. We try to find those more like ourselves, but the whole idea of family is holding to the tension that we're both alike and yet very different, but we're still family. Chesterton moves on in a similar vein of thought, and I hear the need, because I've experienced both for myself and others, to experience adventure as opposed to the ordinary. We've all felt that at some time, but the challenge for us is to look for the adventure in the ordinary, the place in which God has put us for His glory, instead of looking for our own comfort or personal experiences. And this includes the institution of the family or the local church and where we live, our community. We as Christians have to learn to feel at home in the paradox and tensions of Scripture, mercy and truth, God's love and holiness. I'm challenged and exhilarated by this concept, having perceived in my own upbringing that I must be with like-minded people. But we might have held on a little too tightly to that notion and not really valued the tension that we should be living in that actually broadens us instead of narrowing us. I hope you'll take some time to reflect today and value your family, your church, your community, and look for the adventure in the ordinary, not in your own comfort, but right where God's put you for His glory. Remember, you don't have to do ministry alone.